I'm just venturing around my little urban vegetable setup. Quite a few chili trees, which are bursting with chilies at the moment. And I'm just collecting them. I'm going to teach you guys how to preserve and make a fantastic kick-ass chili sauce. I'm going to show you how to do a fermentation process to ferment the chilies, and use the fermentation process to create the preservative. Well, this fermented chili sauce can last for probably 8 to 10 months in the fridge. After the fermentation process is stopped and you've put it in the fridge, I'm going to be using predominantly pepper juice, a couple of normal, these are just normal Thai chilies, and then a couple of bird's eye chilies. And I'm just going to go around the garden now and collect them. Join me. As you can see, I'm using my urban space very well. I got chili trees, pepper dew trees planted all over the place. I've utilized the space to its maximum and still kept a bit of space for my kids to play. In this lockdown, that space has been very valuable. Okay, another thing that I do add to my fermented chilies, what I am going to add in this case is tomatoes. And I'm going to harvest what's left of my tomatoes that the monkeys have left me. The vervets come and destroy my tomatoes every now and again. Okay, and I'm just going to get some basil. I'm going to add some basil to this ferment. Just a couple of sprigs of basil. Cool, let's go get cooking. Alright, so like I said, I'm going to show you guys how to preserve chilies and make it a kick-ass. There's no better word for it than kick-ass chili sauce. We're going to ferment the chilies for 7 days. Now you can do this up to about 6 or 8 months fermenting, but you know what, I want this to be interactive. I want you guys to go get your chilies, collect if you've got. If you don't have, you can use green peppers. But I want you guys to try this too. You don't have to use a huge jar or a lot. You can use a smaller jar with a lesser quantity and try this for yourself, and then you guys can see how this tastes, and then you guys can comment on this video and let me know how your chili sauce turned out. Because in 7 days time, when this has been resting on the top of my cupboard, I'm going to do another clip on blending this together and how to separate it, make it into a smooth sauce or make it into a chunky sauce. Quite simply, what you need is you need a decent clean jar, something that's been heated with hot water. So this has been washed with boiling water, so that's completely sanitized. Then I've got the chilies that you saw me pick. I've washed them. They've all busy soaking off any dirt they may have on them. Give them a good wipe. And then what you're going to need is you're going to need salt water. What I've done here is I've heated about 2 liters of water on the stove, and I've added a tablespoon of Himalayan rock salt per liter of water. So 2 tablespoons of Himalayan rock salt in there. And the reason I do it on the stove is so that the water's warm and I can dissolve that salt completely. You can use rock salt, you can use sea salt, or you can use kosher salt. Do not use iodinated table salt. It doesn't allow the fermenting process to take place. And basically the fermenting process, I'm not a scientist, but the way I understand it is that the salt reacts with the vegetables, it ferments, the salt water breaks down the sugars, and it's called lactofermentation. So, and that creates a preservative. So it starts preserving the chilies, and it can preserve for up to 8 months. I know some guys that actually even leave their jars closed for 8 months, giving it a burp every now and again. Burping it, I'll refer to burping it. It means just loosening the lid once a day. Basically just like opening a Coke bottle, just allowing the gas to escape and then closing the lid again. Apart from the chilies, you're going to need some garlic. There's no good chili sauce on earth that's ever made without a lot of garlic. Some onions. I'm going to cut those tomatoes. I've got some basil, and I'm going to put that all in the jar. And then I'm going to show you guys a little secret that I've discovered on how to keep everything sunken in the water. It's very important that that water covers the vegetables or the chilies or whatever you're fermenting. So I use a Ziploc bag that I fill with water, and I place that on top of all the vegetables to keep them down underwater, and then I put the lid on. I'll show you that when we get to that step. Good, let's get going. I'm going to start off dropping in my basil leaves, which I've just stripped off the stalk. I'm going to keep some more for another layer. Keep those aside. And then I'm just going to give these a wipe as they come out the water. Okay. Now, what I do is I cut my garlic, just roughly chop it. put a couple in the bottom. So basically I'm going to layer it now. A couple of onions. The onions very roughly cut just into big chunks. And then a couple of these chilies, which I'm going to wipe down. And these are pepper juice. You can use any chilies. And the reason I'm using the pepper juice with a couple of hot chilies is the pepper juice are cooler and they create a nice flavor. And when you use your chilies when they're ready, when they're ripe, you find that you get a much heartier flavor out of your chili sauce. So I cut out the green bits here, and as much of the pith as I can. Take out some of the pips. You don't have to. And I'm just going to cut that in. Basically, roughly cut it into 4 pieces. I have picked 1 or 2 green ones, and that's just for the depth of flavor. So just to get a little bit of depth of flavor, a couple of green ones, but the red ones do give it the heartier taste, or much more mature taste, should I say. Okay, now for a layer of tomatoes, just going to basically cut those into 4. Take out the top, use up the tomato. Okay, then we're going to add our next layer of garlic. So this will be our last layer of garlic. And onions. The rest of the onions can go in. Okay, and then we're going to do the basil leaves. Once again, just strip them from the stalks, drop them in there. And this is going to just add a little bit of a different note, flavor note in the preserve. And then we're going to top the rest of that jar up with the rest of these pepper juice. And then right at the end, I'm just going to stick the chilies in. And these are all organic, homegrown pepper juice. Basically, I grew these all from seed and then just planted them, dispersed them around my little urban setup. You know, it's quite amazing what you can do with a small bit of space. Create some nice sauces, grow some awesome vegetables, feed the family, feed the vervet monkeys, unintentionally, of course. They just come for the spoils. This is going to be a rather mild chili sauce because pepper juice are generally not too hot. But I am adding some bird's eye chilies, which are pretty hot. Not hot in terms of Scoville units, but they are warm if people are not used to chili sauces. Okay, so we have the jar layered. Like I said, it doesn't really matter to layer it. I just like to layer it just to get the flavors all interspersed, and then all we got to do, just when you're filling your jar, just remember that you've got to leave about 2 inches of space. So I go right to the turn of the neck and I leave that space open, and then I'm going to pour in that salt water that I've made. Remember what I said, 1 tablespoon per liter. And all of this has to be covered with water. Okay, and I need a little bit more water. The other thing that I didn't mention earlier is the water has to be filtered water. You can't use chlorinated water. So normal tap water doesn't work. It has to go through a filter or be bottled water or even distilled water. You can't use chlorinated water. Chlorine in the water in your tap water will completely destroy the whole fermentation process. So you just cover everything so there's enough water in there. Remember I said I had a secret with the Ziploc bag. I'll take my Ziploc bag, I'll fill that with some more water, and you want to get that in there. Zip it closed, I just zip it closed, and then you push it in there. You'll see the water come right to the top, and at that stage you screw your lid on. And what that bag of water does is it pushes everything down under and keeps them under water. Otherwise you have to have special bottles that are made for fermenting. I'm not using a special fermenting bottle. I'm using a standard glass bottle with a sealed top. And that gets closed. I stick that on the top of my cupboard. I'm going to leave it for 7 days, and I want you guys to go and do this. And in 7 days time, I'm going to upload the video of how I blend this. And you guys are going to do the same. And you're going to send your video clips with your cell phones in. And we're going to compare chili sauces. You've got time, it's lockdown, you've got nowhere to go. Make some chilies. Here we go. And stick it on top of my cupboard, out of the sun, out of the heat, and just let it sit and ferment. And every day, I'm going to go, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to crack that lid so that the gas escapes. Then I'm going to close it again and leave it. And in 7 days time, that'll be fully, well, not fully fermented, it'll be well fermented. You could leave it for 2 weeks, but for this exercise, we're going to leave it 7 days. And I want you guys to go and make yourselves a jar, even if it's a small jar, and let's test it together, guys. And I'm going to show you how to blend that later. Okay, so that's it for today, and it makes a delicious sauce, by the way. I call it my kick-ass chili sauce. Cheers. We have 35,000 of you subscribers out there that are watching our channel on a daily basis. What we're appealing to you guys for is likes, comments, and shares. We have quite a few of our Primal Providers in lockdown on farms, myself with a dam in my backyard, and we're able to punch out some content for you guys to keep you entertained in this lockdown period. If you guys would like to see that content, we want to see you guys liking, commenting, and sharing on all our videos. If we see the likes, the comments, and the shares start increasing, we're going to punch out a video every single day to keep you guys entertained. It's easy, guys. It takes 5 seconds. Get on the bottom of the video, hit the share button, and share it on all your platforms. If we get 20,000 likes on our videos, we will release one video every day of this lockdown. So get liking, guys. Get sharing and get liking. Guys, I look forward to seeing some shares and making some content for you guys.